To step into a new reality, you must break free from past conditioning, old emotions, and limiting beliefs that have kept you tethered to the same experiences. The human brain is like a record of the past, wired with memories, behaviors, and emotional patterns that have been reinforced over time. Every thought you think, every reaction you have, and every emotion you repeatedly feel strengthens these neural circuits. If you continue to think the same way, feel the same emotions, and behave in the same patterns, you are destined to create the same experiences. Change, then, requires disrupting the subconscious programs that have defined you for years. Your body has memorized your past more than your conscious mind is even aware of. The moment you wake up in the morning, you remember who you are. You recall the problems waiting for you, the people in your life, the stresses, and the routines of your day. This memory-driven autopilot immediately signals your body to feel a certain way, producing the same chemical reactions, the same thoughts, and the same behaviors that will ultimately create the same day as yesterday. If you are not conscious, your life simply becomes a repetition of the past. You are living a predictable future based on a well-practiced past. Breaking the habit of the old self means disrupting this cycle. It requires awareness, the ability to step outside of the unconscious programs running your life and choose something new. But change is uncomfortable. The moment you decide to think greater than your environment, your body will resist. It will crave the familiar because the familiar is known and the unknown feels unsafe. Even if your past has been filled with stress, anxiety, or self-doubt, your body has become chemically addicted to those emotions. It will fight to return to what it knows, even if that means keeping you stuck in a reality you no longer want. When you commit to change, your mind and body must move out of sync with the past and into alignment with the future. The first step is becoming conscious of your thoughts. Pay attention to the inner dialogue that plays in your mind throughout the day. Is it a story of limitation? Do you tell yourself that things will always be the same, that you are not enough, that you will never succeed? These are the scripts of the past, and if left unchecked, they will continue to dictate your future. Next, observe your emotions. Every time you feel frustration, fear, or self-doubt, recognize that these emotions are signals from the past self trying to pull you back. Most people think emotions are reactions to their environment, but emotions are also memories of the past that shape their future. If you wake up and immediately feel anxious, you are signaling your brain and body to create a reality that matches that emotion. Your body does not know the difference between a memory and reality. It will prepare for the worst-case scenario simply because that is what you expect. But what if instead you conditioned your body to feel something new? What if before anything in your external world changed, you chose to feel gratitude, excitement, or inspiration? If you can teach your body to feel a new emotion ahead of the experience, you will begin to draw that experience to you. Your behaviors must also change. If you want to create a new life, you cannot keep acting in the same habitual ways. This means stepping into discomfort, making different choices, and disrupting the routines that reinforce the old self. When the moment comes where you would typically react with anger, choose calm. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, take action. When your body wants to return to the old emotional state of fear, train it to feel something different. Breaking the habit of the old self is a daily practice. It requires you to stay present, to be aware of your patterns, and to make the conscious choice to think, feel, and act in a way that aligns with your desired future. The greatest challenge is that your past self will always try to reclaim control. But the longer you resist falling into old habits, the weaker they become. Over time, the circuits in your brain that once fired with stress, doubt, or fear will no longer be dominant. New pathways will take their place. You will have rewired your brain and body for a new destiny. Transformation happens when you no longer allow your past to define you. When you wake up in the morning and refuse to remember your problems, when you choose thoughts that support your highest potential, when you feel elevated emotions before the external world gives you a reason to, you are no longer the same person. The past no longer has power over you. You are free. Everything in the universe is made of energy, including you. Long before anything manifests in physical form, it exists as a field of potential in the quantum realm. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs generate electromagnetic signals that interact with this field, influencing what you attract into your reality. Most people believe that change happens through effort, action, and force, But the truth is that energy precedes matter. If your inner world remains the same, filled with the same emotions, the same limiting thoughts, and the same unconscious programs, you will continue to produce the same results in your external world. No matter how much effort you exert, true transformation requires shifting your energy first. Your current reality is a reflection of your past energy. Every thought you have carries a frequency, and every emotion you feel amplifies that frequency. If you wake up each day feeling stressed, fearful, or frustrated, you are broadcasting a signal that aligns with those emotions. That signal attracts experiences, people, and circumstances that reinforce the same state of being. This is why people often feel trapped in cycles of struggle, wondering why the same challenges keep repeating in their lives. They believe they are victims of their circumstances, when in reality they are unconsciously creating them by maintaining the same energy that produced them in the first place. When you understand that energy shapes matter, you realize that changing your external reality begins with changing your internal state. This means learning to regulate your emotions, becoming conscious of your thoughts, and shifting your focus toward the reality you wish to create. The challenge is that most people rely on their environment to dictate their energy. If something good happens, they feel happy. If something bad happens, they feel stressed or discouraged. But if your emotions are always dictated by external events, you are not creating your reality. You are simply reacting to it. To shift your energy, you must learn to generate elevated emotions independent of your circumstances. This requires stepping beyond the conditioned mind and body and tapping into the limitless field of possibility. If you want abundance, you must feel abundant before abundance appears in your life. If you want love, you must cultivate love within yourself before it arrives in the form of a relationship. If you want success, you must embody the feelings of success before the external evidence appears. This is not about pretending or forcing positivity. It is about deeply aligning with the energy of the future you wish to create. The body does not know the difference between an experience that happens in the external world and an experience that is vividly imagined in the mind. Scientific studies show that when people mentally rehearse an action or situation with strong emotional engagement, their brain and body respond as if the experience is actually happening. Neural circuits fire, biochemical changes occur, and new connections are made just as they would if the event were physically unfolding. This means that if you consistently focus on a desired outcome while feeling the emotions associated with it, you are literally reprogramming your brain and body to align with that future. You are shifting your energy to match the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. Most people fail to create change because they are trapped in the cycle of waiting. They wait for external circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel different. They wait for success before they feel successful, for love before they feel love, for healing before they feel whole. But waiting is a state of lack. It signals to the quantum field that you do not yet have what you desire, reinforcing separation from it. Instead, when you embody the energy of your desired reality now, you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You no longer signal to the universe that you are waiting. You signal that you are ready. The key to this process is consistency. You cannot simply shift your energy once and expect immediate results. Just as it took years of conditioning to create your current reality, it takes sustained focus and practice to reshape it. This means being intentional with your thoughts, regulating your emotions, and choosing to tune into the frequency of your desired future every single day. When you do this, you are no longer controlled by external circumstances. You become the architect of your reality. The present moment is the only place where true change can happen. Most people spend their lives either reliving the past or worrying about the future, never fully engaging with the now. They wake up in the morning and immediately recall who they are based on their past experiences, what they need to do, who they need to be, and what problems they expect to face. Their brain automatically retrieves memories that reaffirm their identity, and their body follows by producing the same emotions tied to those memories. This unconscious cycle keeps them stuck in a predictable reality, constantly recreating the same patterns because their attention is not in the present. The mind is conditioned to seek safety in the familiar, and the past provides that sense of security. Even if a person's past is filled with pain, stress, or limitation, their brain and body have become accustomed to it. The emotions of the past regret, anger, resentment, fear become a person's baseline state of being. These emotions are not just fleeting feelings, they are chemical records of past experiences stored in the body. When a person continuously relives their past in their thoughts, their body reacts as if those experiences are happening all over again. These same stress hormones flood their system, reinforcing the same neural pathways and keeping them anchored to a reality they wish to escape. At the same time, people project their thoughts into the future, hoping that something external will change so they can finally feel happy, fulfilled, or free. They imagine that once they achieve success, find the right relationship, or overcome a challenge, then they will be at peace. But by constantly focusing on an imagined future, they unknowingly place their happiness outside of themselves, creating a sense of separation between where they are and where they want to be. The problem is that the future is never truly real. It is always just a mental projection. If a person is waiting for external circumstances to shift before they allow themselves to feel different, they are giving their power away. The present moment is the only reality. It is the space where all possibilities exist. When a person truly enters the present moment, when they let go of past conditioning and stop trying to control the future, they access a state of pure awareness. In this state, the analytical mind quiets and the subconscious mind opens. This is the space where transformation happens, where old patterns lose their grip and where a new reality can be created. But achieving this state requires breaking free from the habitual thoughts and emotions that keep a person tethered to their familiar self. One of the most effective ways to enter the present moment is by shifting awareness away from thoughts and into the body. The body is always in the now, while the mind is often trapped in the past or future. By focusing on breath, physical sensations, or the space around the body, a person can begin to detach from their thoughts and return to presence. When attention is fully in the now, brainwave activity changes, moving from high-frequency beta waves associated with stress and overthinking into lower-frequency alpha and theta waves, which are connected to relaxation, creativity, and deep intuition. In this state of presence, the familiar identity of the past begins to dissolve. The emotional baggage that once felt so real loses its intensity, and the stories that defined a person's limitations no longer hold the same power. In this space of pure awareness, a person is no longer thinking as their old self. They are simply being. And in this state of being, they can begin to tune in to new possibilities. When someone fully surrenders to the present, they align with a greater intelligence. They become receptive to insights, ideas, and inspirations that could never reach them when their mind was clouded by past memories or future worries. This intelligence is always available, but most people are too distracted by their own mental noise to hear it. When the mind and body are still, this intelligence flows effortlessly, guiding a person toward new opportunities, unexpected synchronicities, and a deeper sense of connection with life. Practicing presence is not about forcing the mind to be still. It is about becoming aware of the moments when it drifts and gently bringing it back. Each time a person notices that they have fallen into old patterns of worry, doubt, or stress and consciously chooses to return to the now, they weaken the hold of their past self. Over time, the present moment becomes a familiar state, a space where they no longer define themselves by past experiences or future fears, but instead by the limitless potential of the now. The greatest version of you already exists. It is not something you need to chase, create from nothing, or struggle to become. It is a version of yourself that is already real in the quantum field, waiting for you to align with it. The challenge is that most people remain stuck in their current identity, anchored by their past, their emotions, and their habitual thoughts. They live by the belief that change is something that happens gradually over time, but in reality, transformation occurs the moment you shift your identity and embody the future version of yourself now. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take is reinforcing a particular version of you. If you think in the same ways, feel the same emotions, and behave in the same patterns, you are continuously reaffirming the self you have always been. This means your future will be no different than your past. But if you begin to think, feel, and act as the person you want to become, before the evidence appears in your external world, you collapse the timeline between where you are and where you desire to be. The mistake many people make is believing that once their circumstances change, then they will feel different. They tell themselves that once they have success, then they will feel success. Once they are in a loving relationship, then they will feel loved. Once they achieve financial freedom, then they will feel abundant. But this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. The external world is simply a mirror of your internal state. If you continue to identify with lack, struggle, or limitation, you will continue to attract experiences that reinforce those states of being. Instead, the key is to embody the feelings and mindset of your future self now, independent of your external circumstances. Your brain does not know the difference between an experience that happens in reality and one that is vividly imagined with strong emotion. When you mentally rehearse your future self with clarity and emotional intensity, you begin to condition your brain and body to that new reality. Your neural circuits reorganize, your body produces new chemical responses, and your energy shifts to match the frequency of your desired future. In this state, you're no longer trying to achieve something, you are being it. Imagine your future self, the version of you that has already overcome the challenges you face today, the one who has stepped into their fullest potential. How does this version of you think? What emotions do they feel on a daily basis? How do they walk, speak, and carry themselves? What actions do they take? The more vividly you can embody these qualities in your present moment, the faster you bring that version of yourself into physical reality. This is not about pretending or forcing change. It is about aligning with the truth that your future self already exists, and the only thing separating you from it is your current identity. The reason this shift feels difficult for many people is because their body has memorized the past. If you have spent years living in stress, self-doubt, or fear, your body has become chemically addicted to those states. The moment you try to step into a new version of yourself, your body will resist. It will trigger old emotions, create mental chatter that tries to pull you back, and convince you that nothing is changing. This is simply the old self fighting for survival. The key is to recognize this resistance for what it is, a sign that you are stepping into new territory, and to persist despite it. When you repeatedly choose the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of your future self, you rewire your brain and body to match that new identity. Over time, the old self weakens and the new self becomes familiar. You no longer have to try to be that person. You naturally embody it. At this point, the external world begins to reorganize to reflect your internal transformation. Opportunities arise, synchronicities unfold, and your reality shifts to match your new state of being. This is how you collapse the timeline and bring your future into the present.